Thank you for stopping by. In this episode, we have funny stand-up comedian Cat Alvarado. We talk about her early years of doing stand-up comedy, her doing open mics and comedy festivals, her going to college, and how she's dealing with this whole pandemic. I know you're going to enjoy it. To watch the video, you could see it on YouTube, or if you want to listen to it, you could hear it on iTunes or Spotify. And leave us a comment, give us some feedback, let us know what you think, and we'll see you in the next video. Take care.
Thanks. Hi, guys. So a little about me. Can't tell by looking. I'm Latina, but I'm 23, so my kids are grown. Thank you. Thanks. You're mildly racist for laughing at that. Just a little bit. I'm Nicaraguan. That's my genre. And people rarely clap for that because they all live in Miami. That's just a fact.
I actually got married when I was 19. Anyone else here? Bad judgment? Just me, that's fine. No, if you know any teenagers who want to get married, pull them aside, look them in the eye, and be like, "You're not in love, that is a sugar high." That's what's happening. It took me to my mid-20s to figure out that half of my emotions are just digestive issues. Like the other day I was on a date, my palms were sweaty and my stomach was in a knot, and I was like, oh my gosh, this could be it. This could be the one. And then I took a shit.
All right, give it up for Cat Alvarado. That was a little bit of her stand-up. What do you think about when you hear that?
Oh, wow.
Funny.
I was crushing it.
Yeah, you were crushing it.
Oh, my gosh.
Great.
I've done those jokes so many times. It's so weird to hear them outside my head. Oh,
yeah.
good times.
How do you deal with telling a joke like for the thousand I can't say 1,000 right now, 1,000th time?
Oh, my gosh. You know what? They're like safety. They're like my mom and dad at that point. Like they're my family. I can always rely on them. So I'm grateful that they're there.
Yeah.
Because then I can try new jokes in the middle, in between my old jokes that always work. So they're like a safety net. So I mean that's how I try to look at them instead of being tired of them.
Yeah, yeah, cool. Yeah, no, well they're great jokes. So I mean,
thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess the skill I hear is about, trying to tell the joke as if it was the first time you're telling it, right?
First time, every time, right? But I feel like I've memorized them in a way that I even have the intonation in there, right? So there's a little bit of that. Like I know when I pause, I know every little thing about how I tell that joke. So as long as I have the energy, I think that keeps it feeling fresh to the audience, even though to me it's totally not fresh at all.
Yeah. Right on. And do you ever add anything to it? Like, do you ever or do you normally just keep it the script? Like the joke?
I'll do, if there's crowd work, if there's something that was happening that specific night, and I think on the fly, like, oh, like this guy reminds me of something in that joke, I'll bring him in the joke. Like, oh yeah, you're the one who shows dick pics just like in this joke, right? Yeah. Something like that. I'll change it up here and there a little bit, point somebody out. Like I have one where I'm talking about how being a side chick is like being a side dish. And the other day, I usually go like, oh, it's like being coleslaw. But there was this like adorable guy who was like a little bit chubby, but I wanted to bring him into it. Yeah. And for some reason to me, it just felt like a good idea to be like, or you could be a side guy. It doesn't have to be a side chick. I'm green beans, you're a biscuit.
Nice.
Right. And he's a little rounder, but he liked it because I was like, I would butter that biscuit. So I turned it into a compliment too. Yeah. So it was fun to play with that. So when that comes to me, I do that. I add to it.
Nice. Mm-hmm. Very cool. And that's great. I mean, how long have you been doing stand-up?
Oh, gosh, 7 years now.
Wow.
Time flies.
It does.
Oh, I can't believe how old some of those jokes are and that I'm still doing them. That is sad.
Yeah. Same here. I'm in 14 years, and I have some jokes that are like that. I mean, that was pretty much my foundation, because I took a comedy stand-up class because I didn't know anything about, getting into stand-up. And, so I'm like, what do I do? And since I was an actor, I so used to taking classes, so it was very helpful. But in that class, we structured, like a 7-minute set. So a lot of the jokes that I had was like from that class, because I had other comedians, other people in the class to help me. And that was really helpful, because ever since then I was just pretty much, writing on stage.
Yeah. I mean, I had some of that when I first started, because I started out up in the Ventura, Santa Barbara area. And there was one of the local headliners. He does a lot of stuff on the road, Tom McLean. And he started, for some reason, on a whim, he's like, why don't I have some of the new local comics come to my house? We sit around a fire, because he had like a fire pit in his backyard, and we'll just talk about the jokes that we're writing. And he would help us, and he would punch them up a little bit.
Oh, cool.
Or show us how to phrase the verbiage a little bit better. Or, oh, here's where you could go with that.
Yeah.
And I'm so grateful that I had him to show me the ropes this was like the first 3 months of me doing comedy.
Yeah.
So he's the one who helped me write I'm 23, but my kids are grown.
Oh.
And I still use that as my opener. So
Yeah.
I have Tom McLean to thank for helping me write that.
That's great.
And I've had it since the first 3 months.
Yeah.
First 3 months of comedy. Just this awesome opener. And I think that joke has gotten me like into festivals.
Wow.
Just because it gets boom, big laugh right at the start.
Yeah, yeah. And that's important. That's super important, because the longer you're up there without getting a laugh, the more they're kind of like judging you, and being like, it's all right, it's been already a minute, and like no laugh. So that's really good to get something like right out the gate like that.
Yeah. So hanging out in Tom's backyard, that was my comedy class.
Nice. Nice.
Oh,
he'd had you come over, and then you guys would have some writing sessions?
Yeah, we would just honestly, mostly just talked. We
cool.
talked probably 2 minutes. We'd go around in the circle, and probably 2 to 3 minutes of that was, oh, so this is the bit I've been writing this week. And then it would just go on a tangent for about 10 to 15 minutes, just talking about whatever bizarre stuff. And then, oh yeah, now it's your turn. And then at the end of the night, my hair would smell like fire and smoke. But it was always a good time to kind of see how comedians, or how at that point to me, he was like one of the few professional comedians I knew who was my friend.
Yeah.
To see how he thought, like from this thought to that thought to that thought, and how it wasn't the first thing. It's not the first thing you think of that's the joke. It's like 3 things further down. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I always still try to think of that. Like my writing process right now is I journal, and the first 3 pages that I journal, I just throw out.
Oh, wow.
I don't even care.
Yeah.
And then page 4 is where I end up writing my jokes.
Oh, wow. That's great. Yeah, that's a great idea. Yeah, because I think what do you think it is that, it takes a while for you to get warmed up or to get the thoughts out of your head, or?
I think that's how you avoid being hacky. That's my theory.
Yeah.
Because all the hacky shit that everybody else is thinking of is going to come out in those first 3 pages. All the bullshit that you skim off the top.
Yeah.
That's why I don't keep it.
Right.
So once I get to the 3rd page of writing on a topic, that's usually when I get to something that's actually insightful and that people haven't already said before.
Oh, okay.
Which is my goal, because I don't want to say things people have already said.
Yeah.
That's stupid. What's the point?
Yeah. No, that's great. That's great advice too. I gotta stop. I'm like the opposite. I'm like 1, 2 pages. I'm set. This is great. I'm done.
But I turn it into too much work, so that's why I don't write enough. Because when I do, it's like, okay, this is a whole thing.
Yeah.
It's got to be at Republic of Pie. There's gonna be 4 hours of it. It's like a whole entire spiel. Which really I should just do it at home, but I can't. I cannot make myself write at home. So this pandemic has only been productive because I had a breakup. But if it wasn't for that breakup, I wouldn't have written shit.
Really?
Yeah.
You would have been with him, like hanging out?
Well, that breakup actually gave me the emotional ammunition to write some a good 7 minutes. It's like about that piece of shit.
Yeah.
And so he was like a topic, right?
Oh, okay.
If everything was good, then what would I have written about? Fucking shoes?
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah. No, totally. Yeah. No, they say like the best, songs and jokes come from heartbreak or, some sort of, uncomfort, or, it's great.
Oh, 100%. Like that, right after that breakup happened, within 1 to 2 weeks, I had a whole new 10 minutes. Like I
Wow.
literally I wrote down like the gist of here's kind of what I'm thinking the jokes might be. I got up at this mic in somebody's backyard that happened to have like 30 people at it. Thank goodness.
Cool. Yeah.
But also like, oh my God, thank God I'm alive. um, People were mostly masked up, so it was okay. It was outdoors. And I got up and I just had like all the raw emotion behind it, and it hit on a lot of like true things. And it was just funny the first draft. I was like, oh dang, that's lucky. And that never happens.
Wow.
But I recorded it, and then now I just replicate.
Oh, wow.
Replicate, tighten, polish, punch up, tag. So now it's like a really fun little 5 to 7 minute story.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool. Do you record all your sets?
Yeah. I don't always listen.
That's-
But by default, I record it. I only listen if something really special happened that set. Like I riffed, I added a tag that was really good.
Yeah.
Like, okay, this was a spectacular set. Whatever I did here, I need to take that magic and keep it.
Nice.
So that's my recording thing.
Oh, okay. Right on. Oh, yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I know. I can't listen to myself either, man. I've recorded so many sets, and I just, maybe like 2 seconds, I turn it off right away.
You're like, is that my voice?
Yeah.
Ugh.
No, it's brutal. And just editing this podcast too, it's like nails on a chalkboard. But it's helped me stop saying certain words and just made me more aware of how I sound and the ums and the like, and like a lot of little words.
We have like accents we didn't even know we had.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So like my mom is from Nicaragua, right? In Central South America, they don't say all of their S's, right? That's just how the accent is there. And
like what? like for example, like what do you mean they don't say it?
Yeah, like it's kind of replaced by an H. Like I'm thinking of the word for whatever reason, word for umbrella, paraguas, right? El paraguas.
No, okay.
Right?
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah.
There's kind of an H where like our brain sort of fills in the S, and like we know it's there, so we know what the word is because we're used to hearing our families talk like that.
Oh, okay.
Right. And so I never really thought of me having an accent in English or Spanish until I started hearing myself on my own podcast and editing my voice. And I'm like, oh my God, I do the Nicaraguan accent, but when I speak English sometimes. So
really?
The parts,
that's interesting.
Yeah, the parts of English where I'm like aware of not having any kind of accent, like speaking like a normal person who grew up here, I'm aware of. But then I randomly will just fudge vowels and syllables together, leave off my S's when I'm talking really fast. So it's that like second level accent pieces of having a being a native speaker that somehow sneak in. And now I'm like, oh, I have to slow down or I will not say my S's.
Oh, wow.
Even in English. In English.
It's weird. It's weird that it crosses over.
Yeah. It was really strange. Wow, I thought I was like super white, and turns out I'm actually a little bit Latina, which is, I was happy to learn that. I'm like, cool. Feel safe now.
That's great. So is Spanish your second language or first?
I learned them at the same time.
Oh, okay.
So.
And you speak them both like the same way? Like is good.
Yeah, I mean, I get rusty with Spanish because sometimes I don't practice it very much. But if I'm in Nicaragua or around a lot of Spanish speakers, it comes back like super, super easy.
Nice.
And I can go pretty fast. I can understand all of it. Sometimes I'll forget a word though, like a random word. Like if it's the word for squirrel, which I can think of that word, ardilla, right?
Ardilla.
Or sheep, oveja. But just those silly words or like business words or biology words, I never learned them. So I don't know those words. But for the most part, I feel like 90%, 95%. I know it. Yeah.
Nice. Very cool. And what does your mom think of your stand-up?
She thinks I need to quit or I'm never going to find a husband.
Why?
Isn't that messed up? Because nobody wants to be married. Nobody wants to be married to a woman who's out at night, okay?
That's hilarious.
She's like, what man? What man? He's like, oh, I don't know where my woman is. It's fine. That's her thought. She's
Yeah.
like, she thinks I'm never gonna have kids or find a husband as long as I do stand up. So I really need to quit ASAP. And I'm like, well, I'm gonna freeze my eggs. Booyah! Like I figured it out until I find the man who's okay with me being out and about.
Yeah. Wow. So I mean, what are your thoughts on that? Do you want to have a kid and get married?
I do, but not like right away. Like not now. I want to get to a certain level of accomplishment in my comedy. Like at minimum, I want to record one comedy album and have it have some like medium, at least level of success.
Yeah.
I used to say, okay, by a certain age, I want to have done a late night spot. I passed that age. And, and I'm like, okay, do I want to quit now? Well, I think it was, okay, if I hit a certain age and I haven't had a late night spot, then I'm going to reevaluate.
Yeah.
And so I reevaluated pretty easily, which was, I don't care, I'm going to keep doing this.
Nice. There you go.
Like, I don't, whatever.
It's a good attitude.
Yeah, it takes a while. It takes a while to like, I think the more I do it and the more I write, the more I respect the art form.
Yeah.
So I only just now feel like I'm getting the hang of more advanced levels of comedy writing.
Yeah.
So I'm like, of course I'm not famous now.
Yeah.
I'm not ready to be famous now. I'm not there yet, you know?
Yeah. No, that's a great way of thinking, and I stand by that as well, because I had a martial arts teacher tell me that when you become a black belt, that's when the learning begins, and it takes like anywhere from 10 to like 13 years to get a black belt, and what I was studying the art form. But like all the students, they can't wait to get black belt. You know what I mean? And then he's telling us, oh, when you get black belt, that's when the learning really begins. Mm-hmm. So it just takes time.
Mm-hmm.
Takes time.
It does take time. Like I feel like there's a lot of different phases of being a comic. I think the first phase is just learning how to tell a joke. Holding for sound.
Oh, no, don't worry. It's not going to pick that up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this is a really good setup here.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
So I think the first phase
But I appreciate that.
I think the first phase is like learning how to just tell a joke structure,
Mm-hmm.
and how to be funny, if you will. And so many people are like, oh, it took me 3 or 4 years to learn how to write a joke. And I'm like, Jesus, it's going to take you forever to
Yeah.
be successful.
Yeah.
Because that should be the thing that you get, like, boom, this is how punchline, set up,
Yeah.
punchline, tag,
Yeah.
tag, the
Yep.
end.
Mm-hmm.
But that's just the ABCs. It'd be
Yeah.
like saying, like, okay, I learned the alphabet. Now I can go be a doctor.
Yeah.
Because then it's learning your voice. What is it? What is it you want to say? And then the next level is being able to go, oh, I want to write it. I want to write about that thing that isn't funny at all as a topic. How do I take that and turn that into jokes? That's like next level shit
Yeah.
that I'm on right now. How do I do it? Is some of the most difficult writing I've ever done. Like a couple years ago, 2018, in Nicaragua, there was all this violence with the dictatorship that happened, and I wanted more people to be aware of it. I'm like, okay, so I have to write stand-up about this. Like, well, shit, that's not funny even a little. But I found a way.
Nice.
And it involved a lot of afternoons at Republic of Pie, and then many, many mics
Okay.
at Fourth Wall.
Wow. Yeah. That's great. Because I mean, some things that we want to talk about, I don't know, it just seems like, we want to talk about it, but like it's so advanced, I mean, we can't find a way to make it funny, what I mean? Or maybe you're not there yet. I don't know, but that's awesome. There you were.
I mean, I'm by no means saying that I've mastered it, only that I'm like, okay, I'm getting the hang of doing that.
Yeah.
Like Dave Chappelle is the master, I think, at that, where he takes his topic that's not funny and somehow finds a way to turn it into something.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh my gosh, if I could be like Dave Chappelle, which I'm sure all of us say to ourselves all the time.
Yeah. No, I know. It's crazy. But the guy's been doing it since he was 14.
Jesus. Yeah. Exactly.
You know, it makes me wish I started that early.
Oh my
You know,
God.
if I knew how long it would take, you know, how long this whole process would, you know, I don't think I would have even started. But, you know, but now knowing it, I mean, man, yeah, I should have started way sooner. It's just, you know.
Yeah. Just the process of finding who you are. I remember when I first started, I really loved Angela Johnson. So I feel like I was kind of unconsciously trying to emulate her.
Yeah.
And then I discovered Bill Burr and I was like, oh, I'm angry. Let me do that. So I would listen to Bill Burr before I would write. And then I would like write down things that I'm angry about. And then I would like scribble them down and I'd go to the mic and I'd be like, this is what I'm pissed about. And I'd basically pretend to be Bill Burr.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
in my head, it would be Bill Burr's voice, but coming out of my
Yeah, yeah.
for a while. But then I was like, I'm not that. That's not me either.
Mm-hmm.
So eventually I just landed on just writing and then just doing it and,
Yeah.
and not thinking as much like that. But I still don't even know if I found my voice. Yeah, that's a tough one.
Yeah, that is a tough one. Because, I mean, like, because you change too as you get older, you know, you get more mature and, you know what I mean? So it's tough. It's tough to find that voice because, you know, that you evolve and you become a different person. I know I have, you know. So, I mean, it's just so tough. Yeah, I mean, I'm still struggling, you know.
Yeah, and then there's like, what kind of comedian are we? Like, what am I talking about dating? Am I talking about politics? Is it neither? And I'm talking about salt shakers and shoes? You know, one of those observational comics. Am I a character? Like that answer for me has changed over the course of time too. Because I started off like dating, and then I went to politics. Then I dabbled in salt shakers and what's the deal with organic bread? And then I came back around to dating stuff. And then when I went, there was I've been doing these shows over at Comedy Heights in San Diego for ages. They love me, and they've seen me grow from the beginning. And when they saw me doing political stuff, they really loved it. And they were like, you're growing so much. And then I came back this summer and I had that 7 to 10 minutes that I added about dating. And I didn't do as much political stuff. And they were like, what happened? And I'm like, I lived life and I brought some more personal stuff into it. That's what happened.
Yeah, totally.
But then I'm like, well, but who am I? Am I a political comic? Because people who like one might not like the other.
Yeah, right.
So you almost sometimes have to decide.
Yeah, yeah.
What do I want to be?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Huh. But I mean, I think that takes time, you know, unless you know it right out the gate, you know, you want to do politics or whatever. But I think a rounded, subject line, you know, I mean, I don't want to hear a headliner set, you know, all politics, you know what I mean? Like, I love Bill Burr, you know, I mean, not Bill Burr, Bill Maher. Mm-hmm. He does politics the best, I think.
Oh yeah,
you know?
100%. He's the king of that. Mm-hmm.
But like, even though he's so great at doing that, I don't know if I want to hear, you know, an hour set of that. You know what I mean? I'm good after 15 minutes, you know. But so I think it's good to have, like, you know.
I like how John Mulaney did in his latest special, Kid Gorgeous, where it was a lot of that like personal stuff and or a little bit observational. He does a good job of kind of blending observational and personal. Right. And then at the end, he had that whole thing about, I think it was Donald Trump being like a horse. Like, what would it be like if a horse ran for politics? I don't know, it was a couple years ago that I listened to that. I could be describing it totally wrong. I think that's it. And it was like a 10-minute bit at the end. And I'm like, okay, like how he did that. So personal. And then here is a little political chunk. Mm. So it gave it some like dynamic in the hour special. So maybe that's what I'll do. Like, maybe I will keep the politics in there, but, you know, have different pieces within there. Yeah.
Yeah. Right on.
Mm-hmm. That's what I'm thinking.
But right now, it's about the breakup.
Yeah. Oh, my God. Can I tell you this?
Yeah, please.
I'm not going to say who the person is, but I will say that it was a person you would know. Who, like I said, I'm not going to say who, but they were at my last show in San Diego. And, I have this 7 minutes that's about them and making fun of them, and they heard it.
Oh, Nice. That's
Yeah,
great.
They had to hear it and then go up right after.
Oh, yeah.
It was
That's awesome.
beautiful. At the end, the audience cheered way more for me. And I was like, that's a win. I'm funnier.
Nice. And you didn't mention his name?
No.
Nice.
No.
Wow.
Not even a second. But he knew.
Yeah. That is awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty much. It was like everybody's fantasy for like after, like post breakup. I
Yeah.
think we all want to roast the person.
Yeah, of course.
I actually got to do it
No.
to
That,
an audience in front of him.
nice. And then he had to follow that, and he couldn't.
He was rattled. He didn't do any crowd work. He was like on script the whole time.
Yeah.
And yeah, we could just tell. We're like, he's rattled.
Yeah, yeah.
Which
Oh, man.
is never date a comic.
Yep. Rule number 1.
Unless you're going to marry them.
Yeah.
In which case, go for it, whatever.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. No, I totally agree. You know, that's why I stay out of dating comics, you know, like, because we have to work together. You know what I mean? And it's just so awkward being on the same show. I mean, I did you do okay with it? Like being on the same show with him?
I was so nervous on the drive down there. I brought someone along. I had wanted to bring like a really hot guy with me or whatever. I ended up bringing someone who was maybe not as hot as my first choice, which is terrible. I hope he doesn't hear this. He was a really nice person,
Yeah.
a friend. I'm so grateful that he came along with me, because talking to him on the drive down distracted me from all
that's
my
good.
nerves.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then talking to him during, like, while I was there waiting to go up, kind of kept me calm. So then I was able to do the set and kick ass.
That's cool.
Moral
Yeah.
support.
Yeah, yeah.
Moral support is
Yeah.
good to have. So I was fine. I did great. And also, I think I was on the adrenaline of like, okay, this is going to be good.
Yeah, yeah. No.
To have him actually hear it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I learned really, I think early on, I might have been involved with like a couple of comics in the scene. And I really quickly was like, oh no, we're going to know each other forever. I'm not going to do this again.
Yeah.
And so I didn't for a while.
Yeah.
Try to avoid it.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, it's tough, you know, it's because we see each other, you know, so frequently, you know, we always like crossing each other and, you know, so yeah, I mean, it's going to happen, you know, but, you know, you learn from your mistakes.
You just got to be professional. It's like, don't
Yeah.
do that unless you know you can control your emotions
Yeah.
and be like the most stable, stoic,
Yeah.
calm, collected individual in the whole wide world.
Yeah.
Even to date a comic, I think, because the male comics get so much female attention that I feel as a partner to them, one has to be the Buddha
Yeah.
to not get like jealous. 'Cause
Yeah.
it's like, what's going on? What's going on after this show? Why
Yeah.
isn't he coming back? He should
Yeah.
just drive back after the show.
Yeah.
No, I'm being controlling. I'm being so controlling. He should be able to get drinks with the other comics. That's fine. But is he getting drinks with the other comics or is it a girl? I don't know. Why isn't he picking up his phone? Like, it's the worst
Yeah.
ever. Like,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
wouldn't. Yeah, I'm not going to do that again.
Yeah. Yeah. It's tough.
It's torture.
Yeah.
Which then brings me back to my mom, and I'm like, oh no, is that what someone dating me is going through? They're like, is she really at an open mic or is she on a date? Is she
Yeah.
really at a show? Is there someone going to see her at the show? Is she going to go with them after the show? Is she really driving home? Is she stuck in traffic? What's happening? Is there someone with her? Did she take someone driving with her? Like, I can just see the other side.
That's probably what they're thinking. That's exactly what they're thinking, you know?
Oh my God. Trust.
All right. Yeah. And that's my fear too, is like dating somebody, some of the best shit talkers out there. You know what I mean? It's like, and someone that has a microphone that, you know, has all these people listening, you know, that is, that's too much pressure for me.
There's
Like,
nothing more fun than writing roast jokes about an ex who deserves it and
Yeah.
then performing them. I swear.
yeah, yeah.
It feels good.
Yeah, yeah. I bet.
And you don't want to be on the receiving end.
No. Nope. I don't want none of that.
You'll know exactly what animal you look like. Like what animal and which ugly
Yeah,
celebrity
yeah,
mixed
yeah.
together.
Oh. That's great.
Oh gosh, because that's the easy go-to.
Yeah, yeah. That's
Oh
hilarious.
gosh.
Let me fix this
Like after a breakup with a comedian, you will find out that you look like a ferret, and that will stay with you.
Oh man, yeah, it's tough, man.
But I mean, yeah, I mean, I guess coming back to comedy, I don't know, like, what were we saying?
About roasting and
Roasting exes.
yeah,
But that's so much fun. And honestly, if you're having fun doing the jokes, the audience is having fun with you. I mean,
yeah,
what's more relatable than hating on your ex?
yeah, right.
As long as it's not too much or too cruel. I
Yeah,
feel.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Good balance.
One time when I was dating a comic, because I dated one for like 3 years at one point, I think I accidentally insulted his nose. And he got right back to me with something that still haunts me to this day. He's like, well, you have a banana nose. And I was like, oh, shit, that's exactly what I thought. That was my insecurity.
Oh.
And he called it. And I was like, no, I shouldn't have. Oh, no.
Oh man.
Yeah, those fights. It's dangerous.
Yeah, yeah. It is dangerous, man. It hurts to the core, you know? Yeah.
I mean, because that's almost our skill, right?
Yeah.
When we do those bar shows like yours at
The scene?
the scene,
Yeah.
when you have to deal with those cholas who want to stab you in the parking lot, you
Yeah.
have to cut to their core
Yeah.
with the jokes, or else they're not going to respect you.
Right.
It's like you have to establish dominance.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. No, totally. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's totally true, man. The scene, man. I miss that place. Remember that old guy that was there, grandpa?
Uh-huh.
The white-haired guy? He looked like Blue
Uh-huh.
from Old School.
Oh my God,
Blue.
please don't tell me he died.
He passed away.
Oh, COVID?
I'm not sure, but the guy smoked like a chimney and drank, like a sailor. So, I mean, I don't know. So, I don't know what he died of, but
He walked off the plank.
yeah.
Oh, that's a pirate. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no. He walked out the plank of life.
Well, that's sad to hear.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of places are going to be different because people are either going to have moved away from Los Angeles or just quit comedy, so we're not going to see them, or passed away.
Yeah.
It's going to be a different world.
Yeah, yeah. No, totally. It's going to be a totally different landscape. So crazy. What about you? You staying in LA?
Oh yeah. I mean, I grew up here and my mom lives here, and that's not, let's just say this. I can't pick up my bags and go home because this is home,
Nice.
for better or worse.
Yeah.
Because, on the bright side, it means I can just keep going and not have to worry about the costs, because I can always move back in with my mom like I am right now.
Nice.
If I'm not getting acting work or something like that. But the downside of it is that if I want to quit, I can never get away from the entertainment industry unless I move away from my family. Because that's something, I've quit comedy before, or not quit comedy, quit show business, entertainment, performing arts entirely. I did that in college, and I couldn't stand being around anything entertainment related because it made me too sad. So I did. I left Los Angeles, and it was great, and I was pretty happy.
Yeah, yeah.
Until I got a full-time job, and then I realized I hated it, and life without comedy was too sad, and I had to come back to my true love.
Yeah, yeah. Oh,
So
yeah. Well, that's cool that you realized it and you went for it, and then you're like, yeah, no, I'm coming back. You know?
yeah,
Yeah.
life without it wasn't worth it. I mean, not that it wasn't, like I wasn't going to kill myself, but it just felt too sad.
Yeah.
It's the spice of life, doing
Yeah,
creative
yeah.
things.
Uh-huh.
Can't live without it.
Yeah.
But I think everybody needs to do that at one point. Like, just see what life is like without performing arts, without acting, without comedy or writing, just for a little bit. Just quit. And if you're fine, maybe stay quit.
Right. Yeah, you got away.
But see if, like, in your heart, in the pit of your stomach, if you feel sick
Yeah.
not doing it,
Yeah.
then come on back and
Yeah,
keep
yeah.
going.
Yeah, I agree. That's great advice. Because for a while I should have done that at some point because I was getting burnt out. You know how it is. I mean, like set after set, like just, because I was getting a lot of spots, and then you're getting all these spots, and then nothing's happening, and then you're just saying the jokes over and over again. It's frustrating. And it just, seeing the same people too. It was all getting to me.
Mm-hmm.
And that would have been a good thing to do, but I think this time right here, it's been really helpful in that way.
It's like a vacation, just a little rest, because being a comic is just so grueling all the time. When I first started about 3 years in, I did a festival and got attention from like network people. And so 3 years in, I had my first general with a network.
Nice.
That was so cool. And I was like, oh my gosh, I must have a really good trajectory to have done this
Yeah.
so early on.
Yeah.
And then I just plateaued. I didn't do anything else. Like, it was too early for me to really have like fully thought out sitcoms that were like good to pitch. Like, I had the pitch ideas, but they weren't fully written yet. So I was like, wait, I need to go rewrite and work on this. And he's like, that's cool. You take your time. And then my guy, like my champion who was there at the network, got hired off. He got headhunted and he went somewhere else. He went from NBC to Facebook Watch.
Oh, really?
And I was like, oh no, my in at NBC is gone.
Oh.
And it was because I wasn't ready yet. And so since then, like, I've been working so hard to be ready for the next opportunity, thinking, oh, it's like any year now. I mean, if it happened in year 3, maybe in year 4, year 5, I'm going to get something like that again. And then there's been kind of this dry spell of industry stuff. Like, when I do see industry people or they see me, they like me, they know me, and they're like excited about me, but I'm not quite there yet. I mean, there's some stuff, there's some fishes biting, if you will. But I think that's one of the most frustrating things is when you do see that something, you're like, okay, I know I've got it. I know I've got that talent to like get to that high level. And then you have to just wait.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wait for the next big door to open.
Yeah.
Ugh. And what stinks too, and this is how I felt last year. I had done all my best material in a lot of festivals. And so all the industry people who are out at these festivals headhunting for talent had already seen me and already seen my best stuff. And because I had done multiple festivals that year and it's a lot of the same people,
Really?
they saw basically all of my material that year because I would change it. I'd go like, oh, Jeff is here. He saw those jokes last time. Shit, I got to do these other jokes. Shit, I got to do these other jokes. There's nothing that sucks more than being like, wow, he's heard everything I have and the answer is still no. Oh.
Yeah.
So this year I was going to take a year off of just off of festivals, off of industry showcases, to go back in my cave and write and rework things so that the next time he sees me, it's stuff he's never heard and that it's polished and good and completely, like at least 2 completely new showcase sets.
Yeah.
And I'm so mad that 2020 happened, man, because this is going to be the year to do all of those sets and really grind it out and polish and write and polish and write and be at fourth wall like until I blow my brains out.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Just writing stuff. And so that process is going to take, I think 2021 will now be my year for really writing and honing and writing and honing. And then 2022, get my ass back in those festivals again.
Yeah.
But it sucks knowing, like, the good thing about having done it for a while is knowing kind of like, okay, I know how long it takes to write some really good stuff and polish it. I know where to find those people who will give me the opportunities. And I also know that everything I already have isn't good enough. Like, that is so valuable to be aware of. That way I'm not that person who's doing the same 7 to 10 minutes for years and years and years.
Yeah.
Imagine those people who do the same 7 to 10, or they have 15 minutes, they've done 15 minutes the same for 7, 8 years, and they never write anything new. Imagine if that person got up in front of industry and had them watch that 5, 10, 15 minutes of all of their jokes, and everything they've written for 10 years isn't good enough. Ugh.
Yeah.
So I'm grateful to have learned that now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know. It's good that, I think you shouldn't be so hard on yourself, but this is helping you because you're, it's going to motivate you to do more and write more and be better. So, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, but you know what I mean? Just because they haven't, found something for you yet doesn't mean it's your fault. It's their fault that they don't have, you know, enough scripts that, I mean, how can you not fit, you know, something in the NBC, you know, lineup? You know what I mean? I could see you in a bunch of different sitcoms, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, it's more about writing the sitcom. I think that's really more my dream. I mean, being in something is amazing. I would love that. That would be great. But what I see as one of the most rewarding things is writing. I think writing to me is very meaningful.
Yeah.
The writers are like God a little bit.
Yeah. I agree.
Because without really good writers, then what are actors even doing? They're doing like nothing. They're doing drivel. They're doing garbage.
Yeah.
And you need an actor to bring that stuff to
Yeah,
life.
right.
Because a bad actor can shit all over a wonderful script.
Sure.
So I don't want to disparage actors at all.
Mm-hmm.
But man, writing, because you can really bring society forward with writing. You can make people's life better. Like them having watched the sitcom that I write could actually teach them a lesson in life
Yeah.
that they don't even realize.
Yeah.
And then they don't have to go and make certain life mistakes that I've made because they saw the characters, they related to that, and then they just absorb it in their head.
Yeah.
Like that's the power of writing a good
Absolutely.
TV show.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God, I would love to do that.
Oh, yeah.
Or act in one, but writing,
Yeah.
man, that's...
Yeah. But I think, May, you're spending all your time writing your jokes, right? Where you don't have time to write your script.
Mhm.
Is that the problem?
Oh, yeah. That, yeah.
Yeah. Because, I
That's-
mean, if you put the time in, like all your time and energy that you put into your sets and your jokes into a script, you'd have that done, you know, in no time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, that's pretty much what I'm going to do this break because I've been working my 9 to 5 this whole time too. So I always have to make a choice of, okay, for this period of time, am I writing scripts or am I writing
So you've been working this whole time
Yeah.
during the quarantine?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Been very blessed in that sense.
Yeah.
But I've been trying to write a lot more. So I wrote my first, at least detailed outline for a feature from June to now. And then, because there were different versions of it, and I changed it. Now I think I'm finally at the version of it where, okay, now I'm ready to go to draft my first feature. And we'll see. I mean, they say your first scripts always suck, so it'll probably never see the light of day. But I feel like it's the first step. It's like the first time you go to the gym,
Yeah.
right? Obviously, you're not going to be Mr. Universe or Miss
Right.
America the
Yeah.
first time you lift one
Right.
one curl.
Yeah.
But I'm like, all right, this is the first step, actually writing my first feature.
Yeah.
And then once I know how to do that and that journey, then will come the next one. And maybe
Yeah.
the 10th one will be the one I sell.
Yeah.
But I always
Yeah.
try to think of things in that way.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's good. It's good. So, like, when you had your meetings with those people, like, you didn't have anything to show them?
I had a couple of shows in my head to pitch, and I had written for one of them. I had fully written a pilot, but I didn't know anything about pitching packets,
No.
right? And the other thing I learned about pitching is they always want more than one idea.
Mm.
And I've gotten this multiple times. Oh my God, we love it. You're such a talented writer. Like, I love it. I love you. Give me another one.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, sure.
Shit. I only
Yeah.
have that one.
Yeah.
Damn.
Wow.
So I had a second idea, and then I needed to bring that to life and actually write that into a pilot. And then by the time I finished, he was gone.
Oh, really? Oh, that sucks.
So I got to soft pitch that second one, and that, of course, the one I didn't have already written,
Yeah.
was the one where he was like, I could see us being, I think we could get our executives to
Wow.
actually listen to a full pitch of that. Like, that one's really good. We'll sign the paperwork to actually read it, or we'll sign the NDAs to
Cool.
look at that. And then,
Yeah.
of course, well, I got to go get it ready.
Yeah. Oh.
It took me too long.
Yeah. Oh, man. That sucks.
But those are the mistakes you got to make when you're young, man. Imagine if I was 10 years older and that was the first time getting in
Yeah.
the room, only to get kind of shot down. Like,
Yeah.
I did that. I made that mistake. Now I know
Yeah.
to have like 5 pilots
Yeah.
written
Yeah.
and ready
Yeah.
and amazing, along with pitch packets for every single
Yeah.
one. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
that's when you're ready. When you've got like a fully loaded fucking chamber.
Yeah. Yeah,
of
yeah.
ideas.
Yep. Totally.
So much work.
Yeah, I know. It's so much work, man. I know. I was in the same position you were, but I didn't have anything written. You know what I mean? So yeah, it sucks. And I got in front of like major, people, in the industry, and I had nothing to show 'em. So
And you do more acting, right?
yeah.
And so that's the other thing is we want to be that triple threat, or I want to be like a Ray Romano, right? Where I have my sitcom that I act in
Yeah.
and my stand-up.
Yeah.
That is so hard to do because
Yeah.
you have to
Yeah.
spend the time cultivating your ideas,
Yeah.
spend the time cultivating your stand-up
Yeah.
because that's essentially your calling card, and how they're going to even find you and interview you and know who you are in the first place is through watching your stand-up.
Mhm.
And then on top of it, be a good actor.
Yeah. I know, right? It's
Find some time to take acting classes among all the rest of that.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Oh man, it's tough.
Yeah.
Super tough.
It's hard enough to be good at one of those.
I know. Yeah. No. And each one of those is so time consuming. You know what I mean? If you're an actor, you got to be in class and you got to dedicate your time to that, know? Whenever you're a writer, you got to constantly be writing, and, so stand up, constantly doing stand up and being out late and, yeah, all that stuff. So all those things are like super time consuming.
And if you try to execute them all, which is what I've been trying desperately to do, you will have a hard time dating anyone because you're like,
Yeah.
oh, do you want to go on a date? I have time 3 Tuesdays from now.
Yeah, yeah.
That evening, I don't have any sets, and
Yeah.
then all of a sudden, Eric Allegria,
Yeah.
do you wanna do the scene? Yes. Sorry, I can't say no to any stand up. This is my dream.
Yeah. No. I know.
Yeah.
I'm the same way.
Ugh.
Can't say no.
It's terrible, and that's why I've been mostly single for the past 7 years, except for 3 years of that I dated a comic.
Oh, okay.
And that was why that lasted so long.
Yeah.
because he got it and we understood each other
Yeah.
and all that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a lot. And the other thing you end up doing if you try to be good at all three is being an asshole, which sucks. I'm an asshole friend because I'm never there for my friends.
Oh, yeah.
I'm always like, I don't have time. I don't have
Yeah.
time. Like,
Yeah.
I've been spending more time with one of my best friends during quarantine. I actually go take a walk with her at lunchtime.
Cool.
But that's still only 45 minutes of hanging out. And she's like, I wish we weren't time constrained by your lunch break. And I'm like, I'm sorry. I have to take my acting classes, work on my writing. I have to work on my
Yeah.
stand-up. And she's like, but there's not even any shows. I'm like, yeah, but I have to be writing and doing secret mics.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm an asshole too. I'm not there enough for my sister. I'm not there enough for my mom. Oh God, there's people I should call and send thank you cards to and ask them how they're doing and actually be a friend.
Yeah.
And that, I think, is the saddest part of it all.
Yeah. Yeah. Man, it's, I feel like I'm listening to myself, 10 years ago, Yeah. It's like, everything you said is like exactly true. And very few people have that sort of dedication and that you do. So, I mean, it sucks and you do got to be an asshole. I mean, I've missed so many weddings, so many, events and this and that. And I was just like, oh, it's because, the stand up, you get it. I'm a stand up and I got to be at shows and I can't say no and this and that. And yeah.
I think the first few years too, it's okay. Like you can get by saying no to a few things now and then, and people are like, oh yeah. But eventually it actually does hurt the relationships. Like my sister and I had our first fight of our entire lives.
Really?
Like 2 weeks ago.
No way.
She wanted to spend more quality time with me. And I was like, okay, yeah, sure, let's watch a movie. And I guess that wasn't the thing that she wanted. And then she's like, that's not quality time. And then she chose to go hang out with a friend instead of me, and I got upset. And yeah, so that was our first fight. We've gotten along so well our entire lives. It was shocking to me. And there's other little things that she said where I'm like, oh my God, she doesn't know me as well as I thought she knew me. She's like a distance has crept in, and I'm racking my mind like, I've chosen stand up over her too many times.
Yeah.
And it's added up into something.
Sure.
Like she can't just forever not think about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's the price.
Oh, wow. What's the age difference?
7 years.
7 years?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Younger or older?
She's younger.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's where we
That's
get
tough.
to the emotional part
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
this podcast.
Yeah. No, I mean, that's life, right? I mean,
Hmm.
it's the struggle, it's like, how much is too much dedication, it's like, it's tough, man.
It's like that song, Cats in the Cradle and the Silver Spoon.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
is. That's a sad
Oh
song.
my God. So if you do stand up and you love the people in your life, you probably should quit.
Yeah.
Or eventually they'll hate you.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
I know. It sucks, man. We got to be like cold-blooded sometimes.
Oh, I
You
hate
know?
that. But at the same time, I don't know. I feel like lately I've been trying to reflect on how can I make up for it? Like, is there some way? I don't know. Like maybe we give better advice than people. Maybe it's okay. I have less time to spend, but I mean, I make it higher quality time. I don't know how. I think this winter break, my sister's gonna come back in town, and she lives in San Diego. I think I'm gonna take her on a road trip.
That's good. It's a good idea.
Just make it
Yeah.
me and her
Yeah.
driving together
Yeah.
a whole day,
Yeah.
and maybe it'll make up for
Yeah.
a bunch of other little times that I don't. I've been
Yeah.
texting her way more ever since the fight. I sent her a sweater,
Mm-hmm.
a kitty roo,
Mm.
where you put your cat in the
Oh,
hoodie.
I don't think I've
She
seen
has
those.
a cat.
Oh, okay.
Oh
cool.
yeah, it's like a kangaroo pouch. You get
Oh.
a hoodie. It's fleece
Oh,
with the little cat ears on it. And
yeah.
then a fuzzy pouch. You put your cat
Oh,
in
that's
it,
cool.
and then you can walk around the house with your cat sleeping in your pouch. She has a cat. So
Oh, okay.
I just sent that to her as like a bonus Christmas
Oh.
gift. And
Cool. That's a good gift.
yeah, I'm just trying to text her more to make up for my asshole comedian
Yeah.
personality.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, she'll be all right. You acknowledged it, so
Mhm.
you're doing things to correct it. I think she'll appreciate it.
Plus, if you're not close with your family, who will you write about?
It's true.
It's like, sorry. No, I'm trying to bond with you so I can talk shit to other people.
Yeah,
This isn't true bonding.
Right.
You thought I cared? No, I just no. Of course I care.
Yeah. And it's just you and your sister?
Yeah, just us.
Yeah.
Yep, no other family members. They all died in a car wreck.
Mm.
No, yeah, we have mom and a dad and aunts and
Yeah,
cousins. We
yeah.
have all that.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Right on.
Hmm.
Yeah.
How about you?
I have a sister, but we've fought like probably over 10,000 times. Yeah, so more than you. Yeah, but we're a lot closer in age. We're like 2 years difference.
Mm.
So maybe that's what it is.
I always wondered that. Like, how come kids who are so close in age like bicker
Mm.
so much?
Yeah.
I think it's because there's not a clear line of who's the alpha.
Mm.
So there's like a power
Yeah.
struggle.
Yeah, that could be it.
With me and my sister, it was just, yeah, I'm the alpha.
Right.
You're the baby.
Right.
Duh.
Yeah. No, I think there's definitely something to that. That's why my oldest brother, he's like 7 years older than I am. So,
Mhm.
he's the alpha. You know what I mean? I'm always the youngest. Yeah. So, yeah.
But it's more clear when you know your place. You're like, yeah, no, this
Yeah.
is fine. I'm
Yeah.
not gonna try
Yeah.
to take over.
Right. Yeah.
But I really wish though. I mean, the downside of being the alpha to the little one is that she's so used to me choosing things that she doesn't speak up for what she wants, and
okay.
then she's sad,
Yeah.
and I have to like pull it out of her. Like, what
Yeah.
what do
yeah.
you want to do?
Yeah.
I know I said I want to do something else, but I don't care that much.
Yeah.
So please voice your opinion.
Yeah. Do you tell her that?
Mm-hmm.
Nice. That's good.
I try. Like, we were trying to watch a movie, and she's like, well, watch whatever you want to watch. And I'm like, I really want you to be happy, so please express yourself. She's like, no, it's fine. I'm like, no, you want something.
Yeah.
Tell me what you want. Isn't that funny how people work? Like, the psychology of it all?
Yeah.
I think that's like codependency or something, when people, like, they don't say what they want because
Yeah.
they're trying to be liked, but then they
Yeah.
get upset because they're not getting what they want.
Right. Yeah, I think that's what it is.
Yeah, codependency. That's a complicated topic. I don't even know that much about it. I know that, like, vaguely it's like what I just described.
Yeah. That sounds about right. I just finished high school. I mean, I didn't go to college, so I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Did you go to college?
Oh yeah, I
Where did you go?
Cal State Northridge for undergrad, and then UC Santa Barbara for grad school.
Oh, cool.
Both for economics, which is just a lot of math.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, you're good at math?
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Well, there's people who are way better at math. Like, I'm not good enough to get my PhD in economics, but I'm good enough to get a master's. Does that make sense? And then in grad school, I was like the dumbest person who managed to still pass. But the thing is, like, if you get anything less than a B in any classes in grad school, you're failing.
Really?
So you can't. So I still, like, got, decent grades in grad school. I wasn't by any means, like, a dumb person there.
Yeah.
But, oh my God, the people there were, like, freaking brilliant, doing essentially rocket science. And I was following them around, like, can you help me with my homework? I don't get it.
Yeah.
I was the person copying people's, like, how did you do this code? What?
Yeah.
Okay. It's that. Got it. Oh, that kicked my ass.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And did you ever do anything in that field or what you studied?
So initially, no. So economics is like behavioral science in kind of research oriented. And then my first job out of grad school was working for Lockheed Martin as a financial analyst. And that was so boring because I went from doing like calculus and almost like rocket science type Greek letter shit to like, it was a lot of mathematical proofs to then just doing spreadsheets, like copy and pasting one chart into another sheet and making sure the formula was right, and then downloading something and then pasting it into something else. It was the most inane bullshit job, and I hated it. So, of course, I got, like, not let go, but they didn't renew my contract, which is, like, a nice way of letting me go.
Yeah.
So then I got a job in research, but it was more industry research, and that's what I've been doing for the past almost 7 years.
Oh, wow.
Industry research stuff, which is still not math. It's very much just like, okay, we need to know where all of the life sciences companies are in the whole country. Go make a map with pin dots of where those are and finding them, and then getting my team to make the map. Like, it's not that great. So it's still not exactly what I studied until now. Just finally, after all these years of time getting work experience, I have enough work experience that actual research jobs are trying to headhunt me. And I'm like, oh my God, is that how long it took to actually do what I studied?
Yeah.
Like, damn near a decade.
Yeah.
So I might finally get to do the thing I wanted to do in the first place. Of course, I bet that is when I'll probably get a big break in comedy.
Yeah.
Because that's how life works. Yeah.
Yeah. It's funny. Are you working from home now?
Yeah, but I've been working from home for years.
Yeah.
So it's been my thing.
Oh, right on.
Mm-hmm.
So you're totally used to it.
100%. It's so lonely. But actually doing stand-up is what really made working from home totally fine. And even though I had a boring job, I was super happy because after work, I would leave the house and go do a bunch of stand-up every night.
Oh.
And that was super fun.
Yeah.
And now that I'm actually stuck at home literally all day, every day, and there's nowhere else to go to write stand-up, life has been miserable.
Yeah. Oh, Jesus.
Just at home the whole time.
Boom. Yeah, I used the record. Did you ever do the record store over here?
No.
Yeah, it's pretty good on Venice.
There's one on Santa Monica that's like a comic book shop. I've done that one. I think Alex Kaufman does that. I don't know how to pronounce his last name. It's like, is it Kaufman? I don't know, but there's a J.
Oh, okay.
It's Kaufman with a J.
Oh, okay. Right on. Very cool. Oh, man. So was there one Tonight show that you wanted to get on? Was it the Jay Leno show, or what was your goal? Or Jimmy Kimmel? Did it matter?
Conan. I would want Conan or Fallon, maybe Colbert.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was the order of my preference. But honestly, it's like, how can I be picky? It's whichever one will take me. Let's be real.
Yeah.
What's crazy is, like, none of it will make your career.
Yeah.
Like, it'll help move you to the next level and get more spots.
Yeah.
But I know people who have Comedy Central half hours and, like, nothing.
Yeah.
They're not big. They're not any more famous than they were before.
Yeah.
They get like a few more Facebook likes.
Yeah.
But some of them aren't even verified on Facebook, Twitter, or whatever, even with a Comedy Central half hour.
Yeah.
Isn't that nuts?
Yeah.
But what's good about that? It's not good for me if I get one. But I was producing a show. It was this big fundraiser, and there was this comic who had just had his Comedy Central half hour come out.
Yeah.
And he was a total asshole because it just came out, and he still thought, like, I just had a half hour come out. Like,
Yeah.
I'm the shit.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to act like a diva.
Yeah.
And I was just laughing to myself because I actually ended up cutting him from the thing. And he was really upset, but it had to do with a bunch of other nonsense. But in my head, I'm like, you cute little thing. You think you're better than everybody.
Yeah.
2 years from now, you're going to be just as unheard of as the rest of us.
Yeah.
Even with your half hours. So fuck you, dude.
Yeah. 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 Dude, that's, those sort of people, it's hilarious because it's what do you call it? A marathon. Because like if you get something, doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to be good, 5 years from now. You know what I mean? If you get something early, some people get something early right away and they got a chip on their shoulder, right? And yeah, I hate those people. But
yeah, it's like just stay humble and
Yeah.
enjoy the journey. If you
Yeah.
don't enjoy the journey, get off the boat.
yeah, yeah.
Go swim in another ocean or something.
Yeah.
I was reading this book a few years ago. It's called Big Magic by Elizabeth Gilbert. And she's the author of Eat, Pray, Love, which was big some years ago, right? It's a great book about creativity. And in one of the chapters, she talks about, people go, well, I lost my motivation. Like, how do I get motivated again? And her answer is essentially, if you don't have fun doing it, then stop. That's when you know to quit.
Yeah. Yeah.
When you're like, this sucks and it doesn't make my life better.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Well, then make your life better by
Right.
stopping.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't want to make it sound like I'm telling everybody to quit on this podcast.
I tell people to quit. I tell them not even to start, like
Yeah.
new or people that aren't even in comedy. They're like, oh, I want to do stand up. Like, don't do it. Because if they listen to me, then they didn't really want to do it, right?
That's true. That's true. Actually, that happened once. I was at Fourth Wall, and there was this actor guy. He was a really pretty man who had like beautiful green eyes and stuff. And I guess he had taken a comedy class, and I saw him like a few times in a row over a couple of weeks. And then one time he was doing a set, and he goes, "Does anyone have some advice for me or whatever?" And it's like, never ask, dude.
Yeah.
You never ask an audience a question like that. And so I was just this, as a reflex, I was like, quit comedy. And, it got a big laugh, but I never saw him again.
Wow. Yeah.
I think he quit.
Yeah.
And I feel bad that I might have made him quit. But
Yeah.
it's like, dude, if
Right.
it only took that
Yeah.
to get you to quit,
Yeah.
then you shouldn't be in this.
Right.
Because there's going to be so much more rejection than one
Right.
person.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Oh, God.
Totally. Yeah. I mean, that could have went a different way too. I mean, that could have sparked something in him, and maybe he would have came back with a good comeback, and then he would have realized he was good at roasting people.
Boom.
So it could have worked that way.
Exactly. He could have just laughed at it because it was obviously a joke. Like,
Right.
why would I actually tell somebody to quit comedy? Like, what kind of a bitch
Yeah.
would I have to be?
Right. Right.
That would be cruel.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
didn't mean it. So apparently he's dumb. If he thought
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
seriously telling someone to quit,
Yeah.
that's
Well, like
sad.
you said, he asked for it. You know what I mean? Never ask the audience.
Comedians will always tell you to quit comedy.
Yeah.
Duh.
Totally.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I'm going to keep doing it until I hate it. And
Yeah.
then I'll quit.
Nice.
That's the plan.
Yeah.
Or maybe I'll take a break and then I'll like it again.
Yeah.
Who even knows?
Yeah.
I think that's the thing about this whole pandemic is it's taught me how much I do love comedy because I got a chance to not do it for like 6 months. Was it from when did I? Okay, from March to I think late July I did my first set again in person on a stage. And oh my God, it was so good. It was better than sex. I was like, It's me. I was so like high
Yeah.
on the audience and doing it again that I literally, it was like in a parking lot. So the audience was like down over here, and then there was like an empty space area kind of up behind them.
Yeah.
When I got off stage, I went and I just like ran laps. I was like, ah,
Yeah.
the energy.
Yeah.
And that's how I know I'm going to keep going.
That's awesome. Well, you definitely should keep going because you're very talented.
Thank you.
And yeah, so super funny. And do you have anything you want to plug or
Yeah, sure. I don't know when this is coming out, but
probably
on
at the probably in January sometime.
January. Okay, then no, nothing.
Any predictions for 2021?
Oh my God. Hopefully we don't all die. No, okay. I think things are gonna get a lot better. I think the vaccine is gonna go well. It'll go a little bit slowly, but we'll get it back, and then everyone's gonna go crazy partying and having orgies.
Yeah.
I was at first I'm like, okay, maybe after the pandemic, everyone will want to be like more monogamous because we'll have been lonely for so long. And at this point, I'm like, nah, we've all had dry spells. I think it's gonna be a bit crazy.
Yeah. Totally.
So it's wear protection.
Yeah.
In 2021, that's my advice.
Yeah. It's definitely going to be interesting, right? I mean, what can they do to us that we haven't seen in 2020 already?
Oh, we can handle anything now.
Yeah.
I think maybe there's going to be some weather. There's going to be some weather action.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing. And you know what? Now we've trained for when the oxygen is hard to breathe because of climate change.
Huh?
You know, we're going to have to stay indoors for all kinds of shit.
Yeah.
So we're like, okay, we get it now.
Yeah. Right.
So those are my predictions.
Right on. That's pretty good. Do you have a website?
Yeah, I do. So you can find out more about me at catalvarado.com, but I also have a Facebook and an Instagram at the Cat Alvarado. That's CATALVARADO. And I also have a YouTube channel. You can go and check out my stand-up there. I also have character videos that I put out. That's a lot of fun. And lastly, I have a podcast too. It's called Villains of History. And you can listen to, well, the podcast itself is every episode we go over the life of a different horrible person from history, like a dictator or a serial killer, a cult leader, and we discuss it. We roast the shit out of him, and then we just talk about it and like the implications on society, and it gets deep. It's funny, but it's also kind of
Wow, that's very interesting. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, it's kind of an insightful podcast. I try to keep it insightful.
Nice. Is that something that you've always liked history, or why that?
That because of the stuff that happened in Nicaragua in 2018. I mean, I've always kind of been interested in dictatorships because of Latin America and the history of Nicaragua with all of our series of dictators. You know, we've had ones that the United States put there, and then we have other ones that like there was a revolution of socialists and communists and what have you, and then they were there, and everybody's like, "Oh, it's gonna be better." And then that guy turned into a dictator. Then they knocked him out, and then it was a democracy. But then that guy came back, and he was like, "I've changed." And then he didn't change, and then he started shooting protesters. It's drama.
Wow.
But in 2018, you know, when things got really bad, and he really started cracking down on innocent people, then they lost freedom of press. I was like, okay, people have to learn more history.
Yeah.
And understand that stuff because people don't know their shit. And that's true of both sides. I think it's true on the right and the left. I think the right needs to listen to that a little bit more. But then there are some times where I meet someone on the left who needs to listen to it too. To just learn the mistakes of the past, you know. Just because someone says things that you like doesn't mean they can't become a dictator too. And frankly, usually if someone's a serial killer or a cult leader, they never come across as disagreeable at the beginning. They almost always, especially cult leaders. Oh my God, the Nexium cult. I know we got to wrap it up, but oh my God. Have you watched The Vow on HBO?
No.
It's nuts. Watch it, or Seduced on Stars. It's about this guy, Keith Raniere, and he had this cult and essentially turned into a sex cult where the women were even branding themselves with like his initials on their
nuts.
bodies.
Yeah, I know about the cult.
Yeah, that
yeah,
one.
it's crazy.
It's crazy. And you know how it all started out?
Oh,
It's just professional development training. Just
really?
executive development. It was called executive success programs.
Wow.
So the early stages of anything, and this is a cult or a dictatorship political party, it always sounds good at the beginning. And we point the finger and we go, that person's dumb because they fell for it. But you don't know what it was like at the start.
Yeah.
It's like boiling frogs, whatever. So we could all fall for it. So that's why I love doing my podcast on Villains of History, because we get to talk about that beginning of things and the evolution of it. And, you know, oh, wow, why did these people go and commit a genocide? Oh, it was because the history led them to be vulnerable to that kind of manipulation. And, or let's talk about the life of this dictator. Oh, his mom hated him. And if she had just loved him, so moms out there, you better love your kids or they're going to kill everybody. You know, like, just getting those. So that's why. That's what's behind my podcast.
Right on. Very cool. I don't think anyone's doing that.
Yeah.
It's very unique.
Villains of History. Check it out, you guys.
Check it out. Well, thank you for coming by, Kat. I appreciate you. And keep doing what you're doing.
For sure. Thanks for having me.
All right.